Hello and welcome. In this video, we will share a spiritual message from Napoleon. What if death isn't the end, but just the beginning? Imagine hearing Napoleon's voice, not from history, but from the spirit world. Today, he reveals the truth. The spirit world exists, and life continues after death. This message could forever change how you view life and eternity. Please stay with us until the end and experience the depth of this message.
My soul is still here in France, yet I am striving to enter a new era. In my own life, I was deeply attached to the concept of living and clung to the idea of life itself. After my death, I came to understand that even after physical death, human beings continue to exist. It was then that I realized how insignificant my attachments had truly been. I later discovered that the reason my soul remains so vibrant and alive even now lies in this. When I viewed life and death centered around the physical body, I believed that everything would end once my earthly life came to a close. I thought I would cease to exist entirely. But upon experiencing death, I was astonished to find my consciousness so vividly intact. At the same time, I came to think, could this state be my true form? With that realization, I began to understand that clinging to memories of my physical existence was, in fact, meaningless. From that point on, I recognized that I had misunderstood the meaning of death. I also came to know that, in the future, I could once again take on a physical body and descend to the earth. However, this time, I understood that I would no longer be born as Napoleon, Emperor of France. That was the only difference. In fact, this realization brought me gratitude. I understood that in my next life, I would have the freedom to choose what I wanted to do. I would have the opportunity to take on new challenges and attempt what I could not accomplish in the past. This, I realized, is a precious gift, and I felt immense gratitude toward God for this opportunity. Indeed, I came to understand that this is an expression of God's grace. During my time on earth, I experienced many battles, much fear, and deep suffering. Yet, I also had many moments of joy. I realized that my time on earth was truly invaluable, for it allowed me to have such rich experiences. Now, as I look to my next life, I desire to bloom fully, live abundantly with love, and embrace life to its fullest. Yes, this is how I feel now. I want to live a life of love and abundance. More than being loved by many, I want to live a life where I love others. If I am to be born on earth, I wish to live in a way that profoundly expresses the significance of my existence. I believe that without practicing even a single act of love toward others, there would be no meaning in descending to the earth. Perhaps this is what it means. I feel that God is saying, show how much you can accomplish, try and see. Therefore, while I am grateful that paintings, sculptures, and various artifacts depicting my image as a hero remain, and that many continue to speak of me as a hero, I now wish for these records to be quietly closed. In my next life, I will no longer be Napoleon. I will descend to the earth as a new person. Thus, I no longer need the memories of Napoleon. That is how I feel now. I am ready to move to the next phase. I am resolved to live in a new era. I have come to understand that many people repeat the cycle of life in this way. Therefore, I believe there is no need to dwell on the miracles of my life or the times of sacrifice. I think that letting go of these things is an act of courage. Now, I hold only hope in my heart. That is how I feel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that having the opportunity to try again in a new life is truly a wonderful thing. I feel deeply grateful for having been given such a chance. From your words, I sense the message that a life without love is meaningless. It became clear to me that I was born to give love. Thank you so much for helping me realize this. Even if I face significant changes or situations that force me to reflect on myself, I want to continue giving love through it all. Thank you very much. That was Napoleon. Elena, what did you think?
At first, Napoleon appeared exactly as he had been during his lifetime. However, as time went on, he seemed to take on a different form of existence. There is Napoleon's tomb, and he was standing beside it as the conversation began. He started by saying, "That is why I am here." But towards the end, it seemed that even the tomb was now somewhat distant, as if he were ready to let go of it completely. He conveyed that it was no longer necessary to hold on to paintings, portraits, or other reminders of his life. It was as if he had transcended the need to cling to them. From my perspective, it felt as though he was speaking with a viewpoint from the heavenly realms, looking down from above.
Into a new era. Perhaps he has already been born, but since this is a spiritual matter, it's hard to say whether it's happening now or if it occurred a little while ago. That was Napoleon. With this, we'll bring it to a close. Thank you very much.
How did you feel after watching the video? One of the primary purposes of this channel is to convey the message: the spiritual world exists. Life continues even after death. We live on even after we die. This message is powerfully communicated through Napoleon's spiritual interview. Among his words, the statement, "I will no longer be born as Napoleon, Emperor of France," left a strong impression on me. While the soul continues endlessly, the appearance and circumstances of a person born into this world can change. This might feel saddening, but if we let go of our attachments, we can understand, as Napoleon mentioned, "In my next life, I have the freedom to choose what I want to do, and I see it as a precious opportunity to try again at what I couldn't accomplish before." The soul is refined through living various lives. That said, in this current life that we've been given, it's essential to live fully and make the most of it. I believe that the repetition of daily efforts will eventually bear great fruit. Let us cherish today and live each day with purpose. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video.